All right, guys, let me react real quick to the first NFL game of the season. First and foremost, awesome game. That's what football is about. It's about competition. It's about both teams being even, ready to go. Tampa had no rust. They picked up right where they left off. Isn't it nice that they got to play the Super Bowl in that stadium and then the first game of the season in that stadium? And here's the cool thing. My first reaction about Dallas is Dak looks back. Dak is back. Dak looks great is what I meant to say. 400 yards passing. He had 3 TDs. The pick, not even really his fault. It went right through Lamb's hands. So I kind of agree with Collinsworth there at the end. He's like, we should have like an official score like baseball does. Is it an error? Is it a hit? And look at the circumstances surrounding it. Of course, if you went back to the beginning of NFL football, you'd have to change all that. But so that's neither here nor there. That would be a great rule change to look at going forward. He was only sacked 1 time. Elliott, for me, looked good too for Dallas. He looked thinner. He looked fitter. He looked like he was ready to go. He needed more carries. He needed to touch the ball a little bit more, but that's neither here nor there. I think if they could have ran the ball, they could have controlled the clock a little more, and that. So downsides for Dallas, obviously missing the field goals. The 60-yarder, I'm not going to count it really against them. The guy does have the leg for it, to be honest, but you missed the extra point. You missed that other field goal. That's 4 points for sure that Dallas should have had. We're looking at a different ball game there at the end. Switching over to Brady, he looked just as good as he always does. I hate to say, but it's just a fact. He's going to keep playing. I have nothing but respect for him. He threw more passes than his age today, which is really hard to do because he's 44 years old. Are you serious? He threw 50 passes, 379 yards, 4 TDs. The pass that was an interception that off of Fournette's hands, again, should not have been a pick. I don't blame that on the guy who throws it right to the guy and it hits off his hands and goes to the other team. Not really the quarterback's fault in the least. His only fault was throwing it to the guy whose hands it bounced off of. Antonio Brown looks great. If you don't have him on your fantasy team, get him. The rest of the receiver, Gronk is back. 8 catches, 90 yards, 8 targets. He was caught all 8 balls that was thrown to him. 2 TDs. That second touchdown, he catches it and bulldozes his way into the end zone. Looks great. Amari Cooper, 13 catches tonight. That was classic Cooper tonight. And then you even hear the crowd chanting "Go Cowboys" in that game too. So overall, you had great stats all across the board. CeeDee Lamb did great as well. His speed is amazing. He was targeted 15 times, caught 7 balls. You got Cooper targeted 16 times, caught 13. So very good there. 42 completions for your boy Dak. He looked calm. He looked in control. I think he's only going to get better. He kind of picked up where he did last year, where he had to be the entire offense for the Cowboys, and he was doing a great job at that. I didn't think their defense looked bad to me. They obviously gave up 4 touchdowns. They did good. They got a couple turnovers. They put some pressure on Brady. That one throw he made there to Fournette where he flopped twice is like his Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl impersonation. I wasn't falling for it. Brady sometimes look like he is definitely ducking hits, but that's what keeps him in the game. And I can't go against that. So my grade for both teams would definitely be a B. Both teams have things to work on. And look how close it was. It was a 2-point game. And I love the competition. You got 60 points scored in the opener. And I didn't feel it was from bad defense. I thought it was they executed their plays on offense. Obviously, Tampa's going to want to clean up some of those turnovers, unforced errors. You never want that on your team. But that's my rapid reaction to that game. If you guys have any thoughts on that too, let me know. I'm not telling you who I was really for because at this point, I have one team I'm for. That's these guys, Kansas City, who I still think would beat both of those teams tonight. And I got to hand it to Tampa, though, that Super Bowl. They had the perfect game plan drawn up to stop Mahomes. And sometimes Andy Reid is stubborn, and he will only stick to his game plan. But we're not going back to that. So hats off to the champs. You won your first game of the season. Now you have 17 more to go. Isn't that crazy? Or 16 more to go. You win one game. Now you have 16 more still to go. That's what I meant to say. 17 total. 18 weeks in this season. Guys, that was a good game. Did you guys enjoy it? What do you think? By the way, here's my negatives for NBC. They never show the fans. They never show the stands. They never get, like, down. They talk so much. You don't feel like you're in the game. You feel like you're definitely watching TV instead of actually, like, at the game. That is the negative for me with NBC. A couple plays they needed to replay. Like, there was that one, I thought it was a close, in the first half, there was a pass that you couldn't really tell if it was caught or not. and like in bounds, and there was no replay of it. I would like to have at least seen how close it was, because sometimes these guys make these plays look a lot closer. Now I know there's people upstairs looking and downstairs or whatever, but and there's replays. That's not NBC's fault. But sometimes Collinsworth and Michaels talk over plays. They messed up a name a couple times. Just rusty. I mean, let's go down into the field, show the fans. These are the Super Bowl champs fans. Show them. Although they weren't the loudest fans in the world. I swear fans are on their phones more than they're watching the game. If you watch a game from the 90s or early 2000s before people had phones, even basic games were louder unless the microphones in the booth are more blocking out crowd noise and outside noises more. But I really feel like the games used to be so much louder than our people are too self-involved or too distracted during the game. Again, my opinion. What do y'all think?